Yeah, hi. Very good morning, team. So we are back with our Power BI masterclass. Welcome to Dwaytech. So last we had last we had stopped at looking at the comparison between Power BI and Tableau. We did look at the differences we have between Power BI and Tableau, and we were drawn to the conclusion that Power BI was a better option, both for freshers or starting with the industry, and even for the professionals or into the industry from quite a few years. So once as part of the class, as part of the syllabus, we will just now look into installation process of Power BI. As I had promised, we will be downloading and installing Power BI. I will just guide you through the installation process. It is going to be a very simple procedure. It's going to take 2 to 3 steps, and there is no complications. Also, once it is installed, there is no modifications, no customizations that has to be done. Every default setting will work well and good. So Power BI is it is well versed, and so let us look into installation, and right after that we will look into 5 basic charts that we are going to be working on today. We will be working on 5 different kinds of charts that we will generally use to build dashboards or representations, presentations, and reports in Power BI. We will build 5 charts based on one data set. We will be working on generic data set that is available on the internet. It is available all over the internet. It is open source. Anybody who wants to practice data analysis, be it on Excel, be it on Power BI, Tableau, SQL, Python, so whatever source, whatever application, or whatever methods, or whatever tool you are using, whatever coding you are using to do data analysis, you can depend on these particular data sets to practice data analytics or practice data visualization or dashboarding. So we'll just I'll guide you to download that particular data set also. So how we are going to, as part of today's class, we'll be looking at how we are going to install Power BI, how we are going to download this data set, how are we going to load that particular data set into Power BI, and how we are using some basic data from that particular data set, how we are going to shuffle between different charts or different graphs. And there are two extra features in Power BI, which is called as include and exclude, and view and export data. So when we are working with one data set itself, how we can include a particular aspects or fragments of that data, and how we can exclude particular fragments or aspects of that data according to our convenience or according to our requirement. We'll look into that also. Right after that, how we can segregate data and convert it back into a data set, we'll look into that also. First step, let's look into download and installation of Power BI. So it's a very simple procedure. All you have to go do is go to your Google window, press in Power BI download. So the very first or the very second option, you will be redirected to the Microsoft site. Go press download, look for the latest option that you want to see. It'll take around 750 to 1 GB. It'll vary around. Give download, and right as soon as you give download, it'll start downloading. And the setup also, it's very easy. You have to download and you have to press install. Give yes for everything. All the settings and all the customizations, just leave it to default, and it will get installed. It is very simple. There is no complications involved, because I already have Power BI on my system. I just don't want to waste another 30-40 minutes and downloading a 1 GB file. So that's how you do. Just come to the first option that comes when you search for Power BI download on Google. It will redirect you to the Microsoft site. Just press download, and Microsoft desktop will be downloaded, and just run the setup. I hope you guys have that minimal knowledge of running a setup or an installation software. Just run the exe file, and it will do the entire installation for you. So don't try to change any paths, don't try to do any customizations, the permissions or cookies, whatever it asks for. Everything is legal, everything is legitimate, nothing is going to harm your operating system or your computer. It is really legitimate. It has no viruses. It is completely verified. See, it's already done. Once I press install, it will get installed. Just for the sake of it, I'll just demonstrate the first few steps also. So that is with installation. We'll just leave installation there. So right after that, Global Superstore 2016 dataset download. So this is the dataset that we are looking. If you want to take notes or write this name down, it's called Global Superstore 2016 dataset download. It is available on Kaggle itself, GitHub, Kaggle, all of those open source websites. This is available everywhere. Just go there. It is just an Excel file. It is just 8.5 MB in size. It has 3 sheets in it: orders, people, returns. It's a very simple Excel file. Just go to the first result you find on Google, download it. Just if it is Kaggle, register it, tie up with Kaggle with your Google account, Gmail account, email account. It's all right. Kaggle is a very open source software, website. It helps software developers, data analysis with data sets, whatever they're working with, even for developers. It's a very useful website, Kaggle. So you can download, you can attach your, associate your Gmail ID with this thing. It's really safe. So this is what all millions of analysts or developers across the globe. It's not just across India, across the globe. They all depend on this particular website or this particular resource for data sets for practicing purpose and development. So it might be different purposes for different libraries will be available, different packages for developers in their language is also available in this place. So it's really safe. I don't think you should worry about that. So download this data set. So once your setup is ready, see, it's like this. So give next, next, next. Yes, yes, yes. Just, I hope you know how to install this. So that is how you got to do it. So install Power BI. Once it is installed, I will let you know how we are going to proceed. So I downloaded this data set too. I've saved this data set here. It's called Global Superstore 2016. It's an Excel file. Now I'm going to open Power BI and let us go ahead. Power BI desktop. Once your installation is done, you'll find an icon like this in your menu bar. You'll find an icon on your desktop. I don't keep icons on my desktop. So this is Power BI. So even I haven't, like, this is a very fresh version of Power BI on my system too. Like, I've deleted all the previous libraries. As soon as you install what kind of software that you're going to see on your system, it's the same thing. I haven't done any modifications. I haven't done any customizations. So it is the most generic version that is available on the internet is the one that I'm using. There are no customizations, no upgrades done. So go, as soon as you open, this is where you land up in Power BI. You'll end up at the home page. Since there is no library here because I haven't created or viewed any content yet. So I'm going to start with a blank report. So this is how your screen should look. Please take a good look. I'll just expand all the panes for you. What are these panes? It's like opening any other Microsoft based software, be it Excel, Word, or PowerPoint. You get the menu bar here, you get these icons here, you get the title bar here, toolbar here. The same way there is a toolbar here, there is a menu bar here. Everything is the general layout of any Microsoft software, like Word, Excel. This is also very similar because this is from Microsoft. You can look at the layout, you can look at the template, but what options are available here? How are we going to use this? We'll just look into it a minute. I'll just spare you 10 seconds. Keep looking at the window. Try to analyze, based off, before I can tell you things about this, based on your understanding, what are you're able to grasp looking at this window. Take a look. I'll just be back in a second. Yeah, team. So this is our Power BI starting window. As soon as we enter, there is no customizations or modifications that have to be done. Like you see on the bottom left corner, you can see this is a desktop layout view. You can even change it to a mobile layout view. See, this is, I told you that yesterday we were discussing about the Power BI service variant of the Power BI service variant. So here today we are dealing with the Power BI desktop variant, but not the Power BI service variant. The Power BI service variant is for mobile devices, laptops, and even tabular devices where you can view the dashboards from any part of the globe. So this is our menu bar. This is our toolbar. The panes, the 3 panes that you see on the right side of the screen, this is called a filter pane. So when you are dealing with data, you'll have to filter out certain things so that you can reach at certain things. Let's say you're dealing with a data of population within geographical area, population within the the constitution that you are living in. How do you filter out the voter, public or eligible for voting and public or not eligible for voting? You add a filter called age. age, you select the age column, you drop it at filter, and you try to type in a formula or apply a filter saying filter out the people whose age is above 18. Those people you can consider them as eligible voters or potential voters. Those people who are less than of the age 18, you consider them as minors who are not eligible for voting. Like that, you have particular data, and how you are going to segregate it, the constraints or the conditions that you are going to apply to categorize the data that you have, or to segregate the data that you have, is called as filters. It's nothing but the condition. Adding a condition to the data to segregate it is called filtering the data, right? Voting was just one example I could give you. You can apply that to any different type of data sets, right? Let's say I have months of the year. I can, based on rainfall, we can segregate the months into months which are monsoon or not monsoon or summer. Based on the amount of rainfall that we are getting in that particular month, we can segregate that month into whether it belongs in the monsoon season of the year or in the summer season of the year. These are just examples. Every condition that you apply on a data to segregate it into a particular category is called filter. So applying what are filters, we are applying how many filters have been applied. To keep a record of all those things, filter pane is ahead of you. So that is the first pane here. The second pane is visualization. Visualization pane, yesterday we were talking about Power Pivot, Power View, right? So this is part of Power View. So all the charts that you're going to create based on the data that you have, all are mentioned here. It has, see, this is a stacked bar chart, this is a stacked column chart, this is a clustered bar chart, this is a clustered column chart, and the last pane here is the data. So data is where, see, this is where all the cosmetic work goes, right? In the visualization pane, this is where all the cosmetic work goes. Once your data is ready and you applied those filters and you're creating a chart, so what are the colors that you're going to give? How is your chart going to look? How are you going to, adjust the size? Are you going to put two charts in one screen? All the, the cosmic part of it, the cosmetic part of your report is being adjusted, or it is being manipulated here. Whereas here you see, this is about last pane is data. So whichever data that you're working with is being displayed here. The details of the same are displayed here. Right now, I'll show you about the get data feature in Power BI. This is the get data feature in Power BI. Yesterday, when we were discussing about the dynamic nature, or the versatile nature of Power BI, I was talking about how many different resources to which Power BI can get connected. I'll just show you a small visual demonstration of the same. If I click on this, see, in the top 10 features of it, it says Excel, PowerBook, Power BI, semantic data flows, data was SQL server, analysis service, text file, web file, OData feed, blank query. So these many number of from these many different resources, data can be extracted and it can be analyzed and visualized in Power BI. Such is the dynamic nature of Power BI. So when I click more, see, it is redirecting me to, there is IBM database, there is Oracle database, there is MS Access database, there is SAP database, SAP, there is Google BigQuery. So these are innumerous number of resources from which we can connect Power BI, and we can extract the data, load the data, transfer and analyze the data. So that is why I was recommending Power BI over all other business intelligence tool out there, because of its dynamic and versatile nature, right? So this is where we connect Power BI to the data source on which we desire to work with. So manually also we can enter data, but that is not why we are here for. That is not why we use the Power BI. We have Excel, we have MS Access, and innumerable other tools which we use for creating a data set or for basic data entry purposes. This is for purely visualization and analysis purposes. So these are the things. So I'm going to look at the basic features only right now. How to connect a particular database with Power BI. So we downloaded the Global Superstore 2016 dataset. It is an Excel file. Let's connect that particular dataset with Power BI, and we'll just try to design five basic charts to understand what we are dealing with, how charts are created using Power BI, the visual part of it, the cosmetic part of it. Let's just look. We're just going to explore the basic features today, so that we just so that we know that where we are going to start. There is a lot to explore in Power BI. Power BI is an ocean of features. By the time you're at the end of this course, by the time you do your final dashboard, I mean, by the time you're capable enough of doing your own dashboard, you'll be surprised at how capable you have become. You'll be surprised about how many features you can display in one single screen, right? Using the layout on your screen, you're going to create wonderful and highly functional and highly detailed dashboards in the next couple of days at the end of this masterclass. So right now, we'll look at the starting point of it. Today, we are going to take our step one in using Power BI, that is connecting a data set and doing basic charts about the data set. Let's get started, team. Global Superstore 2016. I selected whichever Excel file I wanted to connect, and it is already connecting. It will give me a preview before loading the data. Power BI is going to give me a preview. See, this is the preview that it's giving me. It says it's an Excel file. It has 3 sheets. It's not just one sheet. It has one sheet called orders. It has one sheet called people. It has one sheet called returns. So there are 3 different sheets in one Excel sheet, is what it says. So I'm just going to select the first sheet, that is the order sheet. It is giving me a preview about all the rows and columns in it. It has the row column, order ID, order date column, ship date, ship mode, customer ID, customer name, segment, city, state. So this is basically about a superstore which is making sales in a particular region. And in different categories, the products are being sold and they're being delivered to the customer in a home delivery basis, right? So about this delivery, how many orders have been this particular superstore has dealt with, all the details of the customers and whatever product they bought, and how much ever sales was made, what was the price they paid. So this is basically a sales journal or a business journal of a particular company or particular store called Global Superstore. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I don't want all the 3 sheets. I'll just select the order sheet and I'll press load. I'll ask Power BI to load this particular data for me. I was just a minute ago, I was explaining about the data pane. See, right now, as soon as the Power BI loads this particular data into Power BI or connects with this particular data, you'll see a lot of changes in the data pane. Keep observing the data pane. Yeah, the data is loaded, and it gave me a pop-up message also saying 51,000 rows of data is added. So see, in data, it is already showing me that it is already the data is connected to the data from the order sheet. I'm just going to expand the view so that we can see how many attributes or how many columns are there. So these many columns are there, starting from category, city, subcategory, shipping cost, shipping mode, row ID. So the details about all the delivery sales that Global Superstore has made in the year 2016. Throughout the year, starting from Jan 1 to December 31, what all orders had been placed, have they been delivered, details about all the items that were sold, everything is present in this particular sheet and it is loaded, right? So let us look at, this is all the data we have. Let us see the ultimate data is sales. How much the numbers, how much numbers were made. Okay, against what? We'll be analyzing sales data against region first, to which region sales were made. We'll try to look at data of sales against category, which category items, how many sales were made. We'll try to look it against date. Also, we'll try to look it against date so that we see that which particular season of the year is the shopping season. Which particular season the sales are high, the business is really good. So these are the kind of, and if when you try to check sales against region, you can see the people living in which geographical region tend to do a lot of business, tend to spend more money. So these are the kind of analysis that you can make using data, right? These are the questions that you want to ask data. Like I just gave an economical quotation yesterday regarding economics. It says if you torture your data enough, it will answer all the questions that you have, right? So right now we'll see this data we have. We'll try to torture this data. We'll try to work on this data. We'll ask questions to it. We'll see what are the answers we are going to get and how visually beautiful these answers are going to be. We just don't need a text written or a number typed answer. We need a visually representative answer so that it should be pretty convincing. It should be detailed and it should be visually impressive also. So right now I'll start with a column chart. We'll be dealing with 5 different charts today. First thing will be column chart. I have a stacked column chart. I'm going to select that one. So I'll just drag it and drop it at the center of the screen. I'll expand the view so that it's visible for you. So there is this option called as focus mode, which it will put it in the center of the screen, but that is not what we want right now. So we'll just drag it and drop it. We'll bring it to a considerable size. I'm going to minimize the filter pane because we are not going to add any filters in the very first step. So after minimizing the filter pane, I'm just going to resize this thing, drag it to the center of the screen, right? You can see that I have made place for a stacked column chart, and we'll look into sales, right? The first thing we want to look into is sales, sum of sales. I'm going to leave it on the x-axis. sum of sales. All right, the total number. So this is showing me that the total sales that has been made is above 12 million and less than 12 million, right? The total number of sales the global superstore has made is 12. It's more than 12 million, but less than 14 million. So visually, I'm not able to, grasp. It is about 12 million only. At the same time, it's less than 14 million. So I want to see the exact number. So there is a feature called data label, which is very useful. So right now we are going to format it. The format option will also lie in the visualization pane. I'm going to press format. Under visual only, I'm just going to scroll down and I'm going to look at this particular option called as data labels. I'll just expand to see if there are any other options here. None of the options are visible because we haven't turned it on. It's still off. I'm going to turn it on and you see what happens. Keep observing the chart. Says the sales totally made is 12.6 million. So visually representative, we understood it was about 12 million, but to know exactly how much it was greater than 12 million, we had to turn on the data label and now it is 12 million. Right, this is the entire sum of sales. Now we'll just we have fixated sales here, right? We have fixated. We'll go back to data visuals. We have fixated sales on the y-axis. On x-axis, we'll just start comparing. We'll start comparing sales against region, sales against category, sales against subcategory, etc. So the first thing I'm going to do is against region, right? I'm going to drag. I'm going to left click on the region column here. I'm going to drag it and drop it on the x-axis. Yeah, if you see now, it is giving me sales against all regions, right? Observe the diagram, observe the chart, and the first thing you know is against Western Europe. Western Europe, the sales is 1.73 million. In Central America, the sales is 1.22 million. Against all these regions, the sales are made. So this is our column chart. Now we know that against there are different regions. What are how much sales has been made in different regions. So what we are going to do right now, we'll just put this on hold for a second. We'll just try to see in a particular region how much sales has been made against what category, right? Let's say in Western Europe, 1.73 millions of units of sales has been made, worth of 1.73 million. So out of 1.73 million, we have another column called as category. Which category of items? There might be electronics, there might be automobiles, there might be house products, office supplies, etc. We don't know how many categories we have. I'm just going to, this is a column chart. Now to make this column chart into a stacked column chart, there is another feature other than x-axis and y-axis. It is called legend, right? It's a three-dimensional chart. So all the two-dimensional charts has only two features saying x-axis and y-axis. Now we are going to add a third dimensional filter called as legend. Here I'm going to bring segment. Let's use segment and I'm going to drop it in legend. Can you see? Consumer, corporate, home office. There are three types of customer segment. The first one is a random consumer, second one are corporate consumers, and third one are home office consumers. If you observe the graph, even though the numbers are not visible, you can see that even in Western Europe, the biggest consumer base is generic consumers. The second biggest customer base is the corporate customers. And the third biggest or the least number of sales that are being made is to home office, right? These are the three segments of customers that we have. Right, team? So this is what happens. So other than this is called a stacked column chart. When you add a third dimensional filter in this becomes a stacked column chart. In the same way, we can convert it into a stacked bar chart, right? This is a stacked bar chart. Stacked bar chart is nothing but the same, but we're just going to replace whatever is on x-axis on the y-axis and whatever is y-axis on the x-axis. So everything will look like this. So this is a stacked bar chart, right? Now what I'm going to do, we'll look into a very interesting, I'll just remove all the filters. We'll look into a very interesting chart called as pie chart. That is something that we have all learned. There is no x-axis to pie chart, there is no y-axis to pie chart. Everybody would have studied pie chart in school. So we are going to apply that here. I'm going to bring pie chart and I'm going to leave it on Yes, I'm going to just double click to select it. So what are we going to check? Let's check sales, right? The legend, the values. Which values are we going to make a chart for? We are going to make a chart for sales. So this is entire sales, 12.64 million is the entire sales. Now, what is the segregation I want to do? We saw segment, we saw category. Now let us look into product, right? We'll see if we have the product. We don't have the product. We don't have the product attribute or the product column here. So I'm going to apply the country column, right? Right. So as soon as I apply the country column in the legend here, so it is displaying country-wise sales to me. Of course, country, the number of sales that have been made are to so many number of countries that this looks like a mess. You see, there are so many countries that we have made sales to: Angola, Zambia, Venezuela. So it is really difficult when it comes to country. Looking at the pie chart, maybe adding country was a wrong option. So I'm going to remove country and we'll add. What shall we add? Which other? I'm going to, let's say we'll go back with region only. I'm going to add the region as the legend. You see, okay, region is comparatively there are lesser regions and country. So region wise, you can see, right? You can, this is called legend. So whatever color is being assigned to whichever country, that details, which are displayed on the right side, this is called legend. The legend, which what is the legend in this particular chart? Okay, blue color is assigned to Western Europe, dark blue is assigned to Central America. So this details about which color coding according to which how countries are color coded, how regions are color coded. That details are displayed on the right, and that particular part is called legend. Right, these are the details, but still, looking at the color again, going back and forth to the legend and checking for the color, coming back and trying to denote, it might be again a time taking and a very tiring process. When again, when you are let's say you're using Power BI service and checking out the same chart on your mobile device, it might be very infuriating, right? For that, we'll be using customizing the chart, right? I'm going to format the chart. I'm going to go to the visual place. I'm going to go labels are turned on. I'm going to expand view, and here label contents, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to ask for a all detail label. So now right next to the color, even to the region that we were talking about is also mentioned, so that it becomes a bit easy. So we looked at column chart. Now we looked at a stacked column chart. We looked at a pie chart. Similarly, we are going to looking at something called as a donut chart, right? It is very similar to a pie chart, but it is a bit more, when you look at it diagrammatically to study, the region-wise differences between each segregation of the pie. Looking at the donut is easier. So right next to the pie chart, you'll find this thing called donut chart. I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to leave the legend and values as same. So this is a donut chart. So we've finished column chart, stacked column chart, pie chart, and a donut chart. I'll introduce you to something very interesting. It is called, if you, a funnel chart. So when you have to, when you're looking at a particular data set and your ultimate purpose is to check which country or which region has made the highest sales and which region has made the lowest sales. If your intention, your target for analysis is to see, who is the biggest number and who has the least number, you have to depend on something called as funnel. So funnel chart is very interesting. So using the same data sets, I'm going to switch to funnel. So this, see, it's like a funnel. The highest is placed on the top and the least is placed on the bottom. So the proper order, the chronological order is followed so that it is displayed like a funnel. Here also with the same details, you can see like a funnel. Western Europe has made the highest sales and Central Asia has made the least sales. This is how a funnel chart works. So we try to avoid right country. We try to avoid adding country as an attribute or as a filter because it would really mess up a chart. So to check that, we'll be switching into this very interesting chart. I'm going to remove region out of this. I'm going to switch to map. There will be two options. One is called map. The other one is filled map. So I'm going to go to filled map. And in place of location, I'm going to add country here, right? Country against. Yeah. So I'm looking for sales is in the legend and location is country. So wherever the sales has been made, you can see that part of the map is colored. So when you're dealing with a color, a country situation, when you want country-wise details or a country-wise attributes, there'll be multiple number of countries, and any other chart would not, be able to display it in the right way. So if you go to this marked map, filled map, so it is going to fill up the areas, based on how much color is being filled. You can try to understand where the highest region of sales is. Based on this only, you can understand that some in between North America and South America, that is Central America, you have a very good number of sales, and Central Europe, you have a really good number of sales, and some minute sales in Africa, different parts of Africa, and a notable amount of sales in South America, right? In Argentina, there is real good sales. In Venezuela, there is real good sales. In the United States, there is real good sales, and here in Central Europe, Kazakhstan, you have very good sales. Here in Europe, again, Lithuania have very good sales. Again, in Turkey, you have sales. In Africa, Nigeria, there is good amount of sales, and again, there is Zimbabwe, there is good amount of sales, right? So country-wise, when you have to look for data to visualize that data, you can use this called as filled map. I am going to switch it to map also. See, if you look at map, it is mentioning, right? Instead of coloring that particular region, it is just denoting small sized, micro sized pie charts. Again, if you zoom into that pie chart, you will also be, what category wise or some other filter might be applied there. But just to denote on a map that where all sales take place and how the numbers are, this is how you are using map. So right now today we saw a column chart, stacked column chart, a pie chart, a donut chart, and two types of filled map and normal map charts, right? So this is basically, this is how charts are made. This is how different charts, and if you put these different charts together and make them dynamic, connect them to a changing data source that where data is continuously added, and to leave the data like that, that is what a dashboard is, right? So to create a dashboard, you will know, we just work with one data set, right? One sheet of, when we had in this, our data set had 3 sheets, we used up only one sheet, right? Just imagine we'll have to connect multiple data set with multiple sheets and put up multiple charts like this on one single screen, so that we can call it a dashboard. So this is just step one about getting our hands around or getting our detail around a few of the charts that we have. In further classes, we'll be dealing with, we'll try to check with all the other charts that are available. We'll try to connect multiple data sources, and we'll try to create a very, a highly distinctive and a highly functional and a highly detailed dashboard soon. Right now, just as per this class, those who have listened to today's class, try to install Power BI, try to load the data set that we downloaded today. We'll just go step by step and try to create these charts and play around with all the charts, man. It's fun, try to explore all the charts that are here, try to explore all the contributes, all the attributes and all the columns in our data set, so that we can arrive at a very good practice. It'd be good practice for you. So in tomorrow's class, we'll be looking at other charts and other data resources. Till then, keep practicing, and all the best. Have a good day.